So I was asked the question of why it may be so hard for women to express when they don't feel desired, or when their desires are not being fulfilled, when they are not comfortable, and different things like that. And first, we do have to look back at the history of sex. Like, they didn't even know women could climax until like the late 1800s, and they were calling it hysteria. Like, we got to think about that. Like, even back in our grandmother's, great grandmother's days, they were taught to cook, clean, and have sex with that man. Like, they wasn't taught they were supposed to get anything out of it. It was just make sure that man is taken care of. Women were strictly used to procreate. So we are just getting to the point where we are comfortable. Like, and some women are still not comfortable, where they're comfortable enough to be like, hey, I have a say so in this too. I've even heard men say things like, that's my wife, I can't do her like that. That's your wife, you better do her like that. So a lot of times women have been put in situations where they felt like, if I say this is not I'm not being fulfilled, or I desire more than this, that one, I might look a certain way, but two, his ego might get the best of him and it might kill it all. Because you got to understand that a lot of men, like, feel like that's really like one of the things that they're good for. Like, some men really feel like sex and money, like that's really it. Like, they don't feel like they have any other what's the word I'm looking for? It's on the tip of my tongue, I can't think of it. But they don't feel like they're good enough for any other thing. So women have been afraid to say something. And then you have some women who may have said something in the past, but they were met with a very bad outcome of saying something, so they learn to be quiet. And a lot of women don't understand that they are not being fulfilled. So it's a lot of things to this. They don't know they're not being fulfilled. They're afraid to say they're not being fulfilled, or they feel like if they say something, they're going to look a certain kind of way. They're no longer going to look like the wifey type, or the girlfriend type, or the good girl type. It's just, really, to me, it's all been about appearance. Lack of knowledge and appearance. That's it. So that's why you have to make sure that you create a safe space to be able to say, like, oh, listen, darling, this is not working for me. Listen, this is not good enough for me. Listen, I'm going to need more. Do this, do that. And that's why I create things like games and different things like that, so that you can open up to your partner, so that you know the things that you can try. You know the things that, you know what, I might actually like that. Once you start looking at different things. But a lot of women have just been afraid. I'm afraid to say something. I'm afraid to tell this person that I lay beside every single night that I'm not being fulfilled. A lot of women don't even know whether they have or have not had an orgasm. And a lot of times, if you don't know, you probably have not. But you're constantly laying down with people being unfulfilled. So that's why I preach on making sure you know your body. As a woman, you have to know your body. As a man, you have to know your partner's body. So that is why a lot of women have just went with the flow, like, okay, whatever it is. Because one is either lack of knowledge, shame, or just being downright afraid. So in order to prevent these things, you have to make sure that you are creating a safe space in your relationship. That intimacy talk is something that you have often. You have people who've been in relationships for 10, 12, 13, 15, 20 years and have never had a conversation about it at all. Do not be afraid to talk to your partner about anything, and make sure you create that safe space for them to be able to come to you with anything, because that conversation is going to be what gets it to the point where we start having the most amazing intimacy of our life, the most amazing intimate sessions of our life, because we are now communicating the things that our body needs, our body desires. We are communicating our wants. We are learning, like, I might not know everything that I think I know, and I want to get to know that. Okay, so that is why women have been hush hush. If you are one of the women who have been hush hush, it's time to speak up. It's time to learn yourself. If you are a gentleman who is ready for their partner to speak up, I would tell you to go and grab my Key to Pleasure ebook. That is going to give you the keys and the things that you need to be more open. It's going to relax you. You're going to practice mindfulness. You're going to be open enough to go to your partner and be like, you know what? Hey, I like this. Stay right there. Yeah, try this. Do this. I'm telling you, it's all about learning yourself and having that safe space. All right.